I never saw my father work until I never saw him play guitar at home until the 70s, 1975, 76 maybe. Because dad went to work like every other dad. He, instead of a drill or a hammer in the trunk, he had the 12-string and the Telecaster, and he had the banjo and a mandolin, and had his tools in the trunk. He went to work 12, 14 hours a day, whatever, comes home. He's not picking up an instrument. He didn't have to practice. He's going back out the next morning. And so until the 70s rolled around, when he was basically doing his own music as a jazz artist, that's when I saw him start doing his thing. So I never saw him play once in a while in the studios, but very little. He never took us to work.
Ever take your kid to
no.
to work day?
Only when it was like President's Day, and it was torture, because then you're going to, he's doing, let's say, Chips or one of those shows, Barney Miller or what? No, Barney Miller. I wish it was Barney Miller, but one of those shows where, and it's just boring. Music's boring. Music cues, if you don't like it. Now it's really cool. But what I'm saying is, I only knew him sitting around with other musicians, gambling and chit chat, and eating and the banter. Musicians are unique. They banter like they have instruments in their hand. So they're always trying to one up on each other, tease each other. And that's what I grew up with. So that's why I knew if you put the right grouping together, something's going to come up,
It's so old school, their banter. It's so.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. We're trying to release that as a whole section, that 45-minute piece, the round table by itself, as an extra.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, value added.
But what a treat for you. Like, another favorite part in the Wrecking Crew is you talking with Glenn Campbell.
Yeah.
And Glenn says, let me tell you a funny story about your dad.
Yeah.
Like, please, like you're probably feeding off this stuff.
Oh, it's totally. And that was the weirdest thing is, there's so much that people would tell me and share with me. Now, obviously, it wasn't about my dad the whole show. So it wasn't, and it just didn't work in the film, but it was the things that they always told me would blow my mind, because they were things that I never heard before. When Glenn's talking about playing upside down, my dad was on a Jan and Dean date, and how he presented it to me on the phone the first time, oh my God, that's such a great story. He said, we were on a Jan and Dean date, he said, and Dad stands up to walk towards the music, and Jan got really pissy. He said, Tommy, sit down. So my father, if you know my father, he's got no patience for it. All right, let me sit down. All right, fine. And he starts playing, and they go, what are you doing? What are you playing? I'm just playing what's there. And Jan walks over, and it's upside down, the music. All he was trying to do was turn it upside down so he could play it right. And it was upside down when it was laid there. So that's why, total smart. My father was the biggest smart ass in the world. He was the king of, we called it Scorch. He was a Scorch. And that's what we would call us.